Hello there! Welcome to Check It Out videos. My name is Isaac Check, and today I'll be discussing about 7 points to avoid completely ruining your mechanical watch. Despite having the quartz movement introduced in the 1960s, the mechanical movement is still very popular in the past decades or so, as it evokes a sense of joy that no quartz movement can. And with the proper care and maintenance, this marvel of technology will last a lifetime, which is why most luxury high-end pieces are made mechanical watches and hand down to the next generation and after. So point number 1, water damage. I know this is a bit of a no-brainer, but regardless the watch, mechanical or quartz, water can be very detrimental if it gets into the movement and can corrode and rust, rot, whatever is inside. Even if the watch says it's 30 meters water resistant, that's actually the least amount of rating for water resistance, which is at best just washing hands. Back in the day when I was still new into this hobby, I was given a digital Puma watch which says it's 30 meters water resistance. So unbeknownst to me, I took it to diving, because diving you only go about 20-25 meters at max, so it should be fine, right? So I took it to diving, and lo and behold, there was salt water inside the watch and it's totally gone. And although some watches may have a screw down crown, it may not have a rubber or triple rubber seal to keep water from getting into it, like the Submariner for instance. So even if your watch has a screw down crown, do not take it diving. At best, just maybe swimming should be fine. But always check the instructions or your local AD. Point number 2, we have magnetism. This is the silent killer of a mechanical watch. Because time in a mechanical watch is regulated by a hairspring, magnetism can cause this hairspring to be magnetized and run much faster than it's supposed to. Unless the watch has a silicon hairspring or has anti-magnetic properties like the new Back Bay or the Omegas, keep them away from magnets. Now in our current day and age, we are surrounded by technology that's filled with magnetism. For instance, our handphones, headphones, earphones, even our laptops, which we work on daily. For instance, my laptop here, the speakers are right where you place your palm, below the Windows key. So as I worked, I realized my watch keeps going faster and faster, and I had to bring this back to the AD and get it demagnetized. Well, not this particular watch, it was a Seiko. Now point number 3. This is another one that caused a lot of damage to the watch, is setting the date. Do not ever set the date on your watch between the 9 and 6 p.m. So to be sure you don't do this, I usually just give the watch one full wind until you see the date changes right there, starting from 11 all the way to 3 a.m. and then you see the day starts to change. So for better insurance, just give it 7:30 past 8. Okay, fine, 8 p.m. Yep, 8 p.m. Then start changing the date. Now it is very important to do it this way, because when the time in the mechanical watch hits about 11 plus, the date changes and there's a lot of gears and levers that interlock in place. So if you change it and forcefully turn the crown when the time is around these around 11, half past 11 to 3 a.m., it will crack certain gears and levers in the watch, which will be a very expensive repair for your mechanical piece. So remember, always give your watch a full circulation of 12 hours until you see the date change, then set the date. The thing to note about setting the time is to never set it in anti-clockwise manner. Always go clockwise, because a couple of watch technicians have told me that a mechanical clock is designed to run clockwise, not anti-clockwise. So unlike a quartz movement, do not turn it anti-clockwise to set the time for better insurance, peace of mind. I know a lot of people have done this and you see this in reviews, but I prefer not to do it. Also, after setting the time in a clockwise manner, be sure to turn the crown a little bit back, like so. Just turn. There's a little bit of free play in the crown between the gears when you go clockwise and anti-clockwise. So after setting the time in a clockwise manner, turn it like a millimeter backwards to before locking the crown. So dropping your mechanical watch This is a big no-no because inside your mechanical watch is hundreds of tiny little gears and springs and pieces that can shatter very easily. So dropping your watch will be very detrimental, and just don't do it. Alright, we are almost there. Point number 6. Do not overwind your mechanical watch. Although most automatic watches now have, all automatic watches comes with a clutch to prevent you from overwinding because of the pendulum that constantly winds the watch as you wear it. But this is different because it does not exert as much force as compared to your fingers physically winding the watch. So there are actually some automatic movement like the famous ETA 2824, which actually has a small issue to overwinding. If you constantly overwind it, yes, the clutch will something to do with the clutch or the crown will crack and cause the spring barrel to break. So very important, just give your watch right enough amount of wind to keep it moving, enough torque to keep the second hand moving, and just wear it until it's throughout the day, and it'll wind itself. So to give you a better example of what I mean, here's a larger view of what goes inside a mechanical watch. This is a clock, but it's similar the way things work. You see, that's the spring barrel, the part where I'm twisting. Below that is the spring barrel. So inside the spring barrel there's a coil of spring. This is what powers a mechanical timepiece. So if you overwind this, it could cause the inner spring, that coil, to snap, and the whole watch will stop working. So do not overwind. If you feel usually you can feel a resistance from totally empty watch to almost a fully wound spring barrel. So as long as the moment you feel some resistance against the spring, stop winding it to prevent overwinding. And a bonus point, if you own a chronograph mechanical watch, do not let your chronograph run continuously for 24 or 48 hours, unless you're of course using a column wheel and clutch system, which is fine, because this will wear out the mechanical movements inside and cause it to stop working, like this one here. And finally, the last point is just to use common sense. Don't do stupid things to your watch. Mechanical timepiece is not meant to be soaked in hot water or boiling water unless otherwise stated. Don't baby your watch too much that you don't buckle it because you're afraid you'll get a scar. So I've learned this the hard way, and babying my watch too much, and eventually I learned that you just got to wear them. And throughout my ownership of watches, I tend to develop a skill of, I'm sure you guys know this, the hand tuck behind your back movement whenever you pass by something sharp or could cause damage or scratches to your watch. Did you miss that move? Here it is again in slow motion. In conclusion, just follow these simple steps and your watch should be fine. Thank you very much for staying until this part of the video. Do click the subscribe button if you like my style of video, and I'll promise to update consistently. Do stay tuned for these coming up next.